Yes, people, wife boy, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm doing an Arsenal 2023-2024 squad tier list. I've got all of the Arsenal players here, and I'm going to be ranking what I believe Arteta should be doing with them. Whether it is starting them next season, using them as a super sub, benching them, having them as part of the squad, or then loaning them out, selling them, or literally just releasing them. Let's get straight into it, and make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section if you disagree with anything I did or agree with anything I did. And if you're new around it and you love Arsenal related content absolutely daily, including transfer news, make sure you subscribe down below. We're up to 4,000 subscribers, and hit the bell notification button so you never miss a future video on this channel. Let's get straight into it, going in the order that it's given here, starting with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Well, he's already released, so I guess I could just put him in the release section there. Nothing much more to say. Next, Balogun. Now, this is one of hot debate because he's come out and said he doesn't want to go on loan again. He wants to either be sold or play for Arsenal. Now, me personally, I would use him on the bench. I would rather sell Nketiah. However, I do think Arteta will most likely sell Balogun. So, I'm not too sure, to be honest. If it's me personally, as I'm doing it on my tier list, on my opinion, I'd use him on the bench and arguably a super sub. So, I'm going to put Balogun, I'll put him on the bench, but in certain matches he can be a super sub. But I do think Balogun, personally, I'd rather keep him over Nketiah. Cedric Suarez, he needs to be sold instantly. Get out of my football club. No need for him to be here whatsoever. He went to Fulham anyway on loan. Yeah, just needs to go. Next, Eddie Nketiah. For me, I'd sell Eddie. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's harsh. I know, given this, especially given what he did last season, but the man's not good enough for me for Arsenal Football Club going forward. I have no doubt about his ability to be a fox in the box. Now, I know if he goes to another Premier League club, like who knows, like Crystal Palace or something, he could tear it up and do amazing, just like he did for Leeds when they were in the Championship a couple seasons ago. But for me, if I'm looking as a backup striker for Arsenal long term, Eddie Nketiah isn't the answer for me. He doesn't do enough in good enough vein to really be an Arsenal player going forward. Look, he's not a bad finisher, but he's not great linking up. He's not the tallest. He's not great in the air, etc. At least with Balogun, I can see a higher ceiling. So for Nketiah, if we can get 25-30 million for him, I'll let him go. Mohamed El-Neni, look, Mohamed El-Neni I keep in the squad, to be honest with you guys. Look, many people will say that, oh, what's he doing? He doesn't play many games. And I get that, but I rate El-Neni for the ability of what he brings around the locker room, man. He's just like a really nice guy to have around the locker room, a workhorse, will come in and do a job every now and then. Not someone that should be playing, not someone that should really be coming off the bench either. But just a squad player that every now and then, 2-3 games a season, and the cup games as well, he will do a job for you. So I have no problem with El-Neni staying around the squad. Emil Smith-Rowe. See, if it was before the Euros, the under 20 Euros, I would have said, to be honest, sell. Just to get as much money as possible. But he's done really well in the Euros, to be fair to him, Emil Smith-Rowe. So I'd keep him as like a super sub, you know. He shouldn't start for Arsenal, but why not have Smith-Rowe as a super sub that come off the bench? Because 2 seasons ago, he was tearing it up, man. Like, he was Arsenal's joint top goal scorer alongside Saka. So definitely for me, get Smith-Rowe more integrated in the side. I'm not sure what Arteta thinks. I've got a funny feeling Arteta isn't a massive fan of Smith-Rowe. To be honest with you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I don't mind Smith-Rowe. Look, I'm not Smith-Rowe's biggest fan. I was one of the first people that said, I don't know why he was starting over Ødegaard at certain points. I think Ødegaard's a much better player, and that's been proven over the previous season. So there's no way he should start in this Arsenal team. But look, as a super sub, I don't see why not, man. Gabriel Magalhaes, 100% starter. One of our best players last season. Rob Holding, sell as well, man. Get rid of Rob Holding. We've already got rid of Pablo Mari. He needs to go as well, Rob Holding, because he's not good enough. Case in point, he just is not good enough for Arsenal Football Club, Rob Holding, man. He's proven it time and time again. Even when he had those first 2 good games, do you remember? I think it was against Crystal Palace and Leeds. Everyone was saying, oh, Holding this, Holding that. I remember on this channel saying, look, the problem with these players like Rob Holding, Cedric Suarez, isn't 1 or 2 games. They can perform for 1 or 2 games. They're a professional footballer. I'd expect them to do that. The problem with these players is when you give them 6, 7, 8 games in a row, a leopard doesn't change their spots. They've shown their inconsistencies. That's why they're not world-class players. On any given day, anyone can turn into Prime Messi. But the reason Prime Messi is valued and rated so highly alongside Ronaldo, Mbappe, Haaland is because they put in top performances week in, week out. Not on a game-by-game basis. Not even on a season-by-season basis. You're talking about decades of top performances from Messi, Ronaldo. That's why they're valued so highly. Rob Holding, he could barely put in a good performance for 2 weeks in a row. It's harsh, but it's true. So Holding, I think he needs to go, to be honest. Gabriel Jesus. See, for me, Gabriel Jesus starts next season, but season after, I think he becomes a super sub. I think for one more season where I'm alright with Jesus, I am. But next season, I want us to bring a top striker. Like, I'm talking top pedigree striker. Because any team that wins the title has a top striker in their side. Have you noticed? Whether it was Shearer for Blackburn, whether it was Van Persie for doing it for United. I know Arsenal fans, but Van Persie, but you know what I mean? Whether it was Haaland last season for Man City. Every single top team wins the league with a top striker. It's how it is. No one for Arsenal scored 20 plus goals in the Premier League. No one. Our top goal scorer, I believe, was Saka or Martinelli or Odegaard. Well, it was one of those three. Like, everyone I like the fact that we get goals from everywhere. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love that. But sooner rather than later, you just need a bagsman up front. Now, I don't think we're going to do that this season, given we already spent £200 million. We ain't got any more like space in our budget to buy a top striker, to be honest, because they all cost 70, 80 at least. But next season, I want us to bring a top striker. If it's Osimhen, if it's Kylian Mbappe, I mean, a man can dream, right? Someone of that caliber, then I think Jesus becomes a super sub player. That's just my thoughts on it. Jorginho for me, equally bench player. Doesn't start for me. I would say super sub, but like, Jorginho isn't really a super sub. That's more attacking players that I'd class as super subs. For me, Jorginho is just one of those players that you have in the squad, can come in for a stretch of games when you need some experience in there, when you got those tough Champions League nights or a tough away game, we need a bit more leadership. I like Jorginho in that sense. I was pleasantly surprised by his contributions last season. Jakub Kiwior, equally, bench him, keep him. I've liked what I've seen. Obviously, a small sample size. We can't lie. Haven't had a lot of time with him. But from what I've seen from the player, I'm a big fan. So yeah, Jakub Kiwior, definitely a keep. Is that Pablo Mari? If it is, he's already been sold. So big up Arsenal for that. Made 6 million off Pablo Mari. Goodbye. Marquinhos, one more loan for me. He was at Norwich last season for the second half of the season. Didn't really keep up with him, but I hope he did okay. One more loan for Marquinhos. That'll be golden because I can't see him breaking into the first team anytime soon. Martinelli, for me, Martinelli's a starter. I know he's got a competition with Trossard, but Martinelli, for me, is unbelievable at times, man. He dipped a little bit last season, but this man is so good. Like, genuinely. And he's still so raw, in my opinion. He's still got so much of his game to be polished. But he's a young player. He's still only 21, 22. Going to get miles better. Still think he's a bit of a one-trick pony where just head down, run to the byline. I'd love to see him shake up a little bit and try some new skill moves and cut inside a bit more. I think when I look at Martinelli and Saka, right, I think Martinelli's a better athlete. He's definitely a better finisher than Saka, I believe. I think he's got more raw ability and definitely more physical attributes in that sense. But when I look at a more polished footballer and someone that's, I believe, more dedicated to their craft, you can't fault Saka. Even a little thing Saka does, like rolling his players. I don't see Martinelli do that. Do you get what I mean? So, yeah, Martinelli for me starts, but I want to see that guy take that next step like Saka's done next season for me. Reece Nelson. Look, I'm going to put him as a super sub. People are just going to disagree, but I'm a massive fan of Reece Nelson. He signed his new contract. Congratulations to him. Do I think Reece Nelson should start for Arsenal Football Club? No, definitely not. But he needs minutes. Every time he's come into the team, he's done really well. And the one thing I like about Reece Nelson, right, is multiple things. One, I really like how direct he is. When he gets the ball, he goes and tries to make stuff happen. He's not afraid in the big moments to take shots. Look at that goal against Bournemouth, right? The man's touched the field for what? 60 minutes all season. I think he got an appearance against Nottingham Forest where he scored 2 goals. Other than that, he hasn't really touched the field. Gets brought on as a super sub, gets an assist for the goal against Ben White, and then last second of the game, wraps it. Top bins, unbelievable strike, man. So yeah, Reece Nelson, I want to see him get some minutes, potentially as a super sub, and take the load off Saka a little bit, because it doesn't look like we're signing another right winger. Saka's going to be playing a lot of minutes. We're going to need someone like Reece Nelson to take a little bit of the load off Bukayo Saka, because you know when Saka plays 38 games, he's going to have a dip of form eventually. Next one's Nuno Tavares. I'd sell Tavares. Nothing against him whatsoever. I think there's a player in there. It's just not the right place for him to develop his game. I think Nuno Tavares doesn't really suit the Premier League because he gets exposed defensively. I think, look, put him in another league, he can shine. And I still think you can make a profit on him. We signed him for 8 million. I think you can get 15, 20 for Nuno Tavares. I do think there's a player in there. It's just about how good a negotiator Edu is. Martin Odegaard, absolutely no question about it. He has to start. Unbelievable footballer. For me, he made the biggest jump last season. Odegaard the season before, he wasn't even starting really. It was Emile Smith-Rowe mostly starting. Last season, with the captain's armband, the jump Odegaard made, oh my god. Like, he went from barely starting for Arsenal the season before to not only starting for Arsenal, starting in the Premier League team this season, and basically could start for any Premier League team. He was that good last season, Martin Odegaard. Like, genuinely, if Arsenal won the league, he would have won player of the season over Erling Haaland, which is crazy to say that. 2 Norwegians doing so good in the Premier League for such a small nation. Big up Norway, man. But yeah, Odegaard 100% starter for me. One of our most important players. Arthur Okonkwo. I'll be real with you guys. Loan him out one more time. Still a young buck. Haven't seen much from him. I remember watching him in a pre-season last year. Kind of was a bit bad, let's not lie. But young player, loan him out one more season. Why not? Thomas Partey. For me, I'd keep and I would start Thomas Partey personally. But it does look like Arteta's going to sell him. But for me, I'd keep and start Thomas Partey because I'd play Rice in that Xhaka replacement. We know Xhaka's already gone. So yeah, I'd definitely start for me Thomas Partey personally. Next, Nico Pepe. I'd sell Nicolas Pepe. I think the time has come, man. You got to move on. I'm hearing some fans go, no, we got to keep Pepe. Give him one more season. Let him cook under Arteta. The guy's already been around Arteta. For me, he's not my type of player. He's just not for me. I don't think he's direct enough. I think he slows down the play. I think he's a transition player. I don't think he's really suited for Arsenal's system. I think he's our biggest flop signing of all time, to be honest, for the money we spent on him. Cut our losses. 20 million if we can get that for him. So be it. Goodbye, Nico Pepe. Aaron Ramsdale, for me, starter. I don't hear these people question Aaron Ramsdale. Look, is the man going to make a mistake? Yes, every keeper on planet Earth makes mistakes. He doesn't make anywhere near the amount of mistakes that David De Gea makes. I'll put that out there. I think for this type of football Arsenal play, which is so risky football playing out the back, he actually makes quite a few mistakes. Guys, think about how often we play out the back and play those risky passes where he dinks it in behind the defenders into that like a little half space just before the halfway line. Ramsdale does that so often, and the amount of mistakes he makes is few and far between. Yes, when he makes mistakes, it's glaring, like the one against Southampton in like the first minute for Alcaraz. He's a goalkeeper. When a goalkeeper makes mistakes, it's exposed. It's nothing like a striker making mistakes. Do you get what I mean? I'm a massive fan of Aaron Ramsdale. I think what he contributes to the team he's been a breath of fresh air ever since he first put on the gloves for Arsenal, all the way back 2 seasons ago. Massive fan of him. He's still a young player. I love his personality. Big fan of Ramsdale. Definitely a starter for me. Runarsson, goodbye. I don't know if he's been sold. If he hasn't, sell him. Not good enough. Take care, my friend. I watched you in that FA Carling Cup game against Man City when you let the ball through your arms. Yeah, he's got to go, man. Bukayo Saka, not even a question. Start for me. 100%. One of our best players alongside Ødegaard. Every season, I keep saying, is Saka going to get better? Like, how can he get better? And he just gets better and better every season. Next season, I want 20 plus goals. That's my aim for Bukayo Saka. 20 plus goals in the Premier League, man. Make it happen. Be like that Mohamed Salah type player in terms of goal scoring impact you're having on the team. That's what I want to see. Next, William Saliba, start as well. You saw what happened when he came out of the team last season. We completely capitulated. Got his new contract as well. I'm so delighted to hear that. So a massive, massive player for us. Saliba, 100% a starter. Next, Albert Sambi Lokonga. I'd sell Lokonga, to be honest with you guys. Nothing against him. I just think he's not going to get into the team, to be honest. And we can get a bit of money for him. And if I'm looking at the players we're selling, look, you can make 100 million from those players alone. Personally, I'm be honest about it. So, yeah. I'm a big fan of selling Lokonga. Hasn't really proved enough for me. Can we get 15, 20 M's? Maybe. Next, Kieran Tierney. I'll be honest with you guys. This might surprise a lot of people, but I'd sell Kieran Tierney. Nothing against the man whatsoever. I just think for multiple reasons. One, he's actually got a bit of sell-on value. You could get 35, 40 million from him, I believe, at least, Kieran Tierney. Two, he doesn't suit Arteta's system. Arteta wants every single player to have the ability to be comfortable with the football. And Kieran Tierney is not comfortable with the football. He's not. He's good at defending. I don't take that away from the man. He can defend. But he can cross as well. That's good. But there's no domination in terms of ball retention. And when you're trying to play an Arteta system, a possession-style system, every player needs to be comfortable in the football. We've signed Urian Timber. I do believe Tomiyasu can be converted to a left-back potentially. And so he'll be the backup left-back to Zinchenko. Urian Timber and Ben White as those two right-backs. Then you've got your centre-backs, Saliba, Gabriel, etc. We don't need him. I don't think we need Kieran Tierney, to be honest with you guys. I'd sell him, get the 40 million, reinvest it elsewhere. That's what I would do. Tomiyasu, I'd keep Tomiyasu. He'd be a bench player for me. Always injured, unfortunately, but when he's not injured, he's Mr. Reliable. I'm a big fan of Tomiyasu. Trossard, for me, Trossard's a super sub. Really good player, Trossard. Genuinely, top player. I'd like to see, to be fair, Trossard really start some games as well, because I felt like towards the back of the season, he was getting benched by Martinelli. I'd like to see us rotate a lot. Like, Martinelli, Saka should be the starters for me, but it shouldn't just be them starting every game and Trossard only coming off the bench. Rotate it. Give the players a breather. Give them some time off. Especially with Champions League now, a lot of fixtures. You saw towards the back end of last season, a lot of these players burnt out, especially likes of Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, etc. I'm really conscious to make sure that doesn't happen again. So I'd like to make sure that 100% Trossard gets more minutes on the pitch. I think he's a really good contributor. Is that Austin Trusty? You know what? I'd keep Austin Trusty. I think he did really well, to be fair. So I keep him as a squad player. I think he did really well last season on loan at Birmingham, from what I heard. So why not keep Austin Trusty as like a backup player? He can't be any worse than Rob Holding. So yeah, Austin Trusty, why not keep him? Matt Turner, equally bench him as well. He's our backup keeper. No qualms with him whatsoever. It was his first season last year. Didn't do a lot great, but what can you really expect, man? He's a backup keeper. I think he's been reliable, to be fair, when he's coming to the team. So yeah, why not? Fabio Vieira, one more season he can be on the bench. He needs to hit pure gym over summer. He needs to bulk up for sure, because that brother he's weak, man. He is weak. He gets pushed off the ball way too easily. I haven't been a massive fan of him this season, but I will give him one more year. We saw Bernardo Silva come to the league and he was soft in his first season, then turned it around. It can happen. I want to see Fabio Vieira really pick up his game next season, though. It could be a big breakout year for him. Ben White. Ben White, for me, is a starter. He has to be. Really good, man. Playing that right back position, he's really held it down. So top player for me, Ben White. Granit Xhaka, sell that boy. Well, he's already been sold anyway for 21.5 million. So, yeah. Would I have sold Granit Xhaka personally? I wouldn't have. I would have kept him, to be fair. I wouldn't have started him next season, but I would have kept him. But if the player wants to go, the player wants to go. We take the 21.5 million and we move. And finally, Zinchenko. Zinchenko, for me, starts for now. But soon, he will be replaced by the likes of Timber. If I think that could be the case. But for now, Zinchenko does start in the Arsenal team. Where the new signings go in? For me, Declan Rice has to be a starter right here. There's no icon for Declan Rice, but he has to start for me right here. If you're looking at Uri and Timber, super sub for me. And if you're looking at Kai Havertz, super sub as well. That is my full Arsenal tier list, as you can see on the screen. Do you agree? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd absolutely love to hear it. If you're new around here and you want to see more Arsenal-related football videos, including transfer videos daily, this is the place to make sure you subscribe down below. We're to 4,000 subscribers, and hit the bell notification button so you never miss a future video on this channel. And if you want extra bonus content, make sure you become a channel member. It's the first link in the description. For only $8.99 a month, you'll be able to join member-only live streams, including Arsenal previews, and have your opportunity to join and dial in and give your thoughts on Arsenal Football Club. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Take care.